Alrighty, welcome back to the Natty News Daily podcast. We've got a special guest today, someone who's really blowing up in the natty scene on Instagram, all over the place. You hear his name, see his name pop up all over. Michael Chidozie, King Dozie. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just hanging in.
Good to have you on. Good to have you on. So,
Yes,
why don't we kick off briefly with a background of yourself? Where you grew up and what got you into bodybuilding, and then we can get into some fun stuff.
Awesome. Well, the name's Michael Chidozie. I grew up in Nigeria. Um, Grew up in a family of athletes, Olympic medalists, gold medalists, and all that. And
Whoa, slow down right now. Olympic gold medalist?
yes.
I'm gonna pass right over that.
Yes. My uncle. Wait, I don't know. My uncles and aunts, my grandfather, his brothers, they are competed in the Nigerian national leagues, and track and field and all that. So that's pretty. I have a very solid background in sports. So getting into bodybuilding.
What events did they do in track and field?
100 marathon, 200.
Wow.
It's a whole bunch they did, but back in the days, which was early 2000s.
So now your genetics make sense.
Well, I guess. I guess, yes. Yeah, but
well, when you come from a lineage of great athletes, now the physique starts to piece together a bit more.
Right, and I always try to bring that in. I always try to show people that hey, this is just not. It's not about me. It's about the people who came before me and the groundwork they've laid, and me looking at their dedication to their craft and how they prospered with it. So it's not. I didn't just wake up and decide to there was a process.
Yeah,
I love that message.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. That's cool. How long have you been competing now?
This would be my third year. First show was in 2021, April of 2021. So this is my third year.
How old were you when you got into it?
I was 23.
So you're 26 now, 27 now?
I just turned 26. I just turned 26 a couple days ago.
Dude, for 26, man, you're built. Holy frig. I was just looking at your Instagram, and I just happened to stumble across this reel, and it says, POV, you're a student of Mike Mensa and his heavy-duty training. Can you talk about your training approach? Is that something you've always done? Is that hard, heavy, intense style?
No. I started working out back in Nigeria when I was about 14, 15, and back home, nobody really taught me the basics. I would see people lift. I would see my uncles and grandfather lift, but I did not understand the basic because I was still young at the time. And all I knew was just to go into the gym and kill myself and hurt myself. And that's all I did. And with no rest, because of course you did not have the time to. So I trained intensely, but with no recovery. So coming over to the States 2017 and then getting into bodybuilding 2020, my coach Damon, he taught me, he said, hey, forget everything you think you know and download this new. So he taught me the basics of heavy training, because I thought I was training heavy, and he showed me how to train heavy. He did not call it high intensity training, but then the more he taught me, the more I researched. I started reaching out, reading books, watching videos about Mike Mensa. First, it was Dorian Yates, because I love Dorian Yates, and I discovered how Mike Mensa helped Dorian Yates get to that level. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to leave the student for a second and go over to the teacher and the master, even though he got it from Arthur Jones. So I went in, I delved into my research, and I started intense training last year, like heavy duty training last year.
Okay.
Yeah, early in the year.
How much did you notice a difference when you switched? your training styles? Like, did you find your body responded well right off the bat, or was it kind of a little trial and
No,
error?
no, it was significantly different. It totally changed my physique. That's when the accusations became more solid. That's when people started doubting me for sure that, hey, there's no fucking way there's no way. So the heavy duty changed my physique, and it's still changing my physique the more I learn about it every day.
Wow, sweet. Um, let's go back a bit to your first prep. Tell us about that process. How long did you diet for? What was that whole thing like for you?
That first show was the Tournament of Champions. It was an NPC show, and it was a 12-week prep. I've never done prep before. My first coach dietitian was Patricia. She showed me the ropes on that. My diet was totally different. Well, even I was eating healthy. I don't junk that much, so it was easier for her to transition that into a prep life. And then I started learning about carbs and all that, and my diet as a whole. It was more of the mental approach for me when it came to that prep, and it was all worth it in the end because I pretty much won all the classes I competed, even though they were novice and open classes, except the overall. And that was my first show and an NPC show. So people, guys backstage were like, "Hey, dude, you should. What are you? I said, okay, I think I'm gonna pay more attention to this." And yeah, it was a good show.
Yeah. Yeah, after taking home some wins your first show, it's usually a sign you're on to something, right?
Right. Most definitely.
So now, when was your most recent season? Did you compete 2022 or 2023?
You competed this year, right?
It was this year, right?
Yeah, I just got off stage at the Florida Pro, June 4th.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, I thought it was this year. What
Yeah,
organization is that?
that's NGA.
NGA. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as I guess like aspirations within the sport and stuff like that, is there federations that you're more inclined to start to migrate towards? What do you kind of have your eyes set on? Obviously, you're still extremely young, so you've got lots of time, but within the next couple of years, what's your focus?
For the longest, ever since I started competing, I've been with GBO, Global Bodybuilding Organization, and there's been a few changes this year. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shop around. I'm gonna take my talent elsewhere. That's why I started with the Florida Pro this year. So within the next couple of years, I definitely want to win the Mr. America title and try to see if I can qualify for the Natural Olympia and get on the stage with the big boys and actually, do it at the highest level of natural bodybuilding.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Definitely.
you
So
signed up
that
for this year then, or are you canning it for next year, taking an off season? What's your plan for this year?
uh I'm still competing. I just started competing. So I'm 3 weeks out now from the Super Show. It's gonna be in Austin, Texas, July 29th. And from there, the ball just gets rolling, and I have to get back my title, the Mr. Atlas title in November. I'm gonna go for the Mr. America title. I think that's in October.
Mhm.
Yep.
But I think for the Natural Olympia, you have to qualify for that. That's an IMBA, PMBA. You have to qualify for it. And I don't feel like doing any amateur shows anytime soon this year. I just want to do a pro shows this year.
The Mr. America might qualify you for that, just so you know. That whenever I competed in 2021, it was we were qualified by competing at Mr. America. So might be
That's
something
that's
to look
great news.
into. If that automatically qualifies you, you might be able to just sign up. So just
Of
thought.
course, if it does, that'd be perfect. Because I think one of my biggest goals is to become Mr. Olympia Natural, for sure.
Within the IMBA, PMBA, that's what you're referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Not the other side. No.
So follow up to
No.
that, we've seen quite a few natural athletes compete and win their IFBB pro cards. Is that at all of interest to you?
It is, but just not at the moment.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
What does your diet look like Are you flexible? Are you more of a meal plan guy? What do you typically do day to day?
I prep my meals 4 days in a row, and I just stick to it. So my dietitian Chris, he does my diet, and he manages it. I really don't have to do anything but just follow. So yeah, I prep for mostly about 4 days, and I stick to it.
So you pretty much
He
you just do the same thing day in, day
same
out?
day in day out, same meal, same time,
Yeah.
same everything is the same.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. And training. What's training right now? What are you doing in the gym?
Training is it's about 4 days, 4 days a week. Max is five, and that's
Okay.
when I want to work on the little things like my calves. It's not little, but my calves, my abs, little things that needs touching up. But max is usually 4 days, and that's pretty much it. So heavy training 4 days in a row, for not in a row, but Monday, Tuesday, take off Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
How are those split? What are you doing on each day?
Mondays are usually chest and triceps. Tuesdays are back and biceps, and traps. Then Wednesday I'm off. But if I feel like my leg needs a little bit of work, I train on Wednesdays, but not crazy. I do about 3 sets of a couple exercises, and that's pretty much it. Thursday I have hamstrings, and Friday I'm definitely off, and Saturday quad dominant. Sunday I'm off.
Okay. Is that something
Yeah.
you followed for quite some time, or is that kind of new this year?
No, I've done that ever since I started training with my first coach Damon for since 2020. That's been my split to date.
Okay. Sweet. Sweet. As far as like set and rep scheme, do you guys have anything kind of different you guys do there, or is it pretty standard?
Well, when I first started, we did high volume and high rep ranges. We went anywhere from 15 to 20. But the more I researched and we researched and we looked and say, hey, let's see if this works for me. And I found out that it worked for me. Right now I do my sets are anywhere from 8 to 12, and it's still failure, like absolute failure, where I cannot possibly
Mhm.
move the weight and then I can drop it. So I usually feel around 8, 9 reps.
Do you train alone, or do you have a training partner?
I do have a couple of training partners with my coach and my training partners. About four of us.
Okay. Do you do much for like force reps and stuff, or is it just like once you've hit failure, you stop, or do you have some assistants that you use?
Uh, Most of the time, I go to failure without force reps, but if
Okay.
I feel like I need it,
Yep.
my coach is always there to get at least 2 or 3 in, and
Yeah.
and that's absolute. That's I'm doing pretty much 60% of the work.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
With your physique when you were kind of coming up within the sport, did you find anything like fell behind, or were you always pretty proportionate? Was there anything like that that you noticed was kind of like needs a bit more attention?
Well, you had
My
ACL
legs.
surgery, right?
No surgery. I actually didn't have surgery.
Or
I
did
I
you
told
didn't have surgery? That's right.
I
Tore
did
your
not.
ACL, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So my legs. Before 2021, I never really trained legs. I did not train legs because of course I played college basketball a little bit, and I really had I did not know how to train properly when it came to legs, and it was very lagging. So if you compare my legs from 2021 to now, it's unbelievable. So yeah, definitely. Then I tore my ACL November of last year, and then I lost almost all the muscle mass on my left leg. It was almost completely gone, and I had to rebuild it in 7 months, and now it's almost back to you can't even really notice unless I tell you.
How did
Yeah.
you tear it
I was playing basketball.
playing ball?
Yes, I went up for a layup, and of course, being a kind of a big, decent guy, people always want to fight you automatically on the court because they feel like they have something to prove. And I went up for simple layup, and he bumps me in the air, and I came down on my knees because I had the wrong shoes, of course. Mhm.
Are you
How
playing
did
any
that?
ball now, or just body sticking to bodybuilding, or doing anything else? Or
Well, yeah, I just do bodybuilding now. I avoid any sports that includes changing directions. I just got back into jogging and running because those are helping strengthen my ACL, and again, having no surgery on it, it's a little bit tougher. So I have to be careful what I do. But I'm jogging now. I'm sprinting, and it feels pretty great. So I just keep it at bodybuilding because bodybuilding doesn't require twists and turns.
Is there anything in the gym that you are like cautious about, or anything you've had to really adjust with that, or have you been able to get back to full swing in the gym for legs?
Full swing, full
Okay.
swing. Well. When it comes to squat, of course, when people see you squat and you're not going all the way to the bottom, they I assume it's bad form. They just don't know you have a torn ACL. But now
Yeah.
my range of motion is getting very. I can go all the way to the bottom and come up, but just not with a lot of weights.
Yep. Yep. Other than
Yeah.
that, no other injuries or anything?
No, I'm 100%.
Good. So you mentioned like shows all the way in November. What is like what's your process to get from, competing, June there all the way till November? Like will you have little breaks between shows? Like what is your weight right now, for example, compared to stage weight? Are you up a little bit? Are you close?
Uh, I, I competed at the Florida Pro. I think I was 208 pounds
Wow. How tall are
on
you?
stage. I'm 6'1".
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So the reason I came in at 208 was because Jay, I don't know if you know Jay. Jay, great guy, great competitor. And I knew he already had size on me because of course he's been doing this for over a decade. And for me to beat him at his game, I have to come with size. I do have to come with size, and I did come with size with and proper conditioning. That's why I was that heavy. But now I said, hey, since I'm back in Texas, sorry to say, I really don't have that much fear about people beating me with crazy points. So I just want to come in really super conditioned. So now I'm 208 right now. So I have 3 more weeks, and if I go by losing about 2-3 pounds a week, I should sit somewhere around 200 pounds by showtime.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so map out the rest of the year. So so you said 3 weeks, and then what's after that?
Uh, I believe it's called the is it a River Walk? It's a GBO show. So most of the shows I'll be doing after that would be 3 weeks apart, 3 or 4 weeks apart. But I believe I'm gonna have one show each month all the way till November.
Okay. Okay. So you'll probably have to, pretty much stay in stage condition for much of the rest of the year then.
I have to because I'm a very fast gainer. The second I get off my diet a little bit, I'm sorry, I'm fucked. Yeah.
That's fair, man.
Yeah.
That's fair. You're as long as you're aware of it, that's what matters.
Yes, I know it for a fact.
So after this year, do you intend to take some time off, or would you compete again in 2024?
Uh, I do want to take an off season of at least 6 to 8 months, put on quality mass, and come back next year like a beast. And of course, I already know the formula. All I have to do is play my own game and just repeat what I'm doing and find better ways to do it. And I'll come back 2024 a whole different person.
Very cool. Very cool. I
Yeah,
like the confidence.
yeah. Oh no, definitely. You have to. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it slipped my mind. I was just gonna ask you something. Dan, you got anything while I think of this? I had it.
so you've been blowing up. We talked about it before we started recording. You've been blowing up on social media, stirring the pot a little bit. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
It's it's been crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a roller coaster of dealing with ignorance and just trolls. But the good thing about that is adopted a stoic mindset ever since I was a young kid, and it's really helped me get through stuff. I don't worry about things that I can't control. I do what I can, and the rest is like. So it started crazy, like I said, last year, and then this year it's been off the chart. I get people. I have influencers who could not even cut it as a competitor. They could not cut it, and they took to social media, and now all they do is call me out on, say I'm a fake natty, I'm this, I'm a liar, I'm misleading the generation. I'm like, no, all I'm trying to do is show the younger generation that, hey, you can achieve a very decent physique, a great physique with the right genetics, even a decent genetics naturally. That's my message, because due to the recent, it's not even really recent, but due to the COVID vaccinations and increase in death tolls and bodybuilders, it's a scare. And I'm like, is the risk really worth the reward? So all I'm doing is going, hey guys, look at me. This is what I'm doing. Maybe if you give yourself a little bit of chance, a little bit of time, you can get something substantial naturally without going over to the dark side. Because nowadays, drug use it's the culture. It's very normal, and where nobody realizes that natural bodybuilding was once a thing. It was the right way to do it back when it was. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how much the culture around PEDs has changed. Like now, like if people are like, "Oh yeah, I just take TRT," you know what I mean? Like,
And it sounds so normal. It's
yeah,
like a normal
it's weird.
conversation.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's like we'd be like, "Oh yeah, we just take creatine," and they're talking about testosterone, and yeah, it's
It goes
crazy,
from
man.
it goes from 0 to 100 real quick. And the funny
Yep.
thing is, even in the gym, I see young kids, 16, 17, they come up to me, they say, "Hey man, I just started taking these Psalms. What do you recommend? How do you want me to do the dosage? Because I like your physique. I'm like, what is Psalms?" He said, "Oh no, I said, I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that is, so I cannot possibly prescribe stuff to you." So
Yep.
it's crazy how no how it's been normalized, and so that's why they get so agitated when I say to the contrary. When I go, "Oh, that's not normal," so they go, "Ah,"
Yeah.
like, yeah. So
Yeah, it's interesting, right? You got one camp that says, people talking about PEDs and stuff has given people a bit more, awareness to what, their influencers are taking and that kind of stuff. And they're like, well, it's just educating people a little bit and allowing them to make better decisions. But I think, we're all in the gym culture, and I think you've seen more people just resort to it because it's so readily talked about, right? Like the more you bring it to
oh
the
yeah.
forefront, the more likely someone's probably going to do it.
And people love you more when you admit to it and use it. So people tell they go, "Oh, we would have much respect for you if you just came out and told us you were in PED. You would have more fans. You would have millions of fans." I'm like, yeah, this is so. You know, so it's the norm now that if you're not on that trend, you are not considered, a positive influence. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, isn't
again, with
that isn't that weird? You're hated more for being natural, but they think you're lying than the
right.
person that is talking about drugs,
Exactly.
but is
Exactly.
honest.
It's twisted. It is twisted.
That's weird.
And I just made a post the other day about so they you say you're natural, and they look at your physique, and they first of all they call you a fake natty, and they call you a liar and all that good stuff. Okay, that's fine. Then when an enhanced bodybuilder passes away from, it might not even be that, but they know he's enhanced. They go, oh, he was taking way too much gear. What? What? You gotta pick a lane. It's either you're for it or you against it. So you cannot bash somebody whose memory you just what are you what it so these guys again, it's a lot of ignorance in our generation. It's always been there, but I feel like we as a generation we just keep getting dumber and dumber, honestly. Honestly.
It's I get into argument too because like people bring up like on Instagram or whatever, and do you plan on taking PEDs or have you ever taken anything? And no, I don't take drugs; they're bad for you. And someone will chime in that is enhanced and say, "Oh, well, there's safer ways of taking it."
Oh yeah. Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, A, you're still taking drugs. I don't care what you say. You're still taking drugs. And you're saying safer. That doesn't mean no problems are possible.
No.
It's just maybe you're taking less than the next guy, but you're still playing Russian roulette with your health.
And if I did, and it's funny because they go, hey, it's fine. So far, you do your blood work. What? What?
You
Even
can
me as a not.
you can smoke a little bit of crack as long as you do your blood work.
What? It doesn't even make sense. What do you mean? Because the second you get on it, your time is taken. Yeah, I understand life is very fragile. It is very fragile. We all can go at any time. But why are you why the rush?
Yeah.
Why you hate why the haste?
Yep. Yep. So is it safe to assume you intend to stay natural forever?
Yes, especially with the rate things are going. Definitely. Again, a couple years ago, I would have said, "Hey, I might take it later," because I want to look freakish. I love those physiques; they look amazing. I want to be freaky. I want to walk around 250 pounds, solid mass. I want to walk around 300 pounds, and I'm like, and people are like, "Oh, you have the if you are truly natural, if you hop on gear, you're gonna look even way. You're gonna be the next Ronnie Coleman." I said, "Hey, yeah, probably, but is that worth it? What am I willing to sacrifice for that?"
Yep. Yep.
So a couple of years, I would have said, yeah, sure. But now, with proper training, dieting, I have seen you can achieve like this. What's his name? I don't know him personally. Is it 3D fighter MJ? What's his handle? The fighter
Alberto.
of fighter.
Jeff.
That guy looks freaking amazing, and he's in his late that I'm like, okay. I've seen physiques like that in the natural bodybuilding world, and I'm like, okay, guys like even Meshack. I'm like, this guy's a natural. This guy has been lifetime natural. I want to look like that when I'm older. So yeah, I intend on staying this route for a very long time. I can't say indefinitely, but I plan on being natural for the longest.
Sweet. Awesome. Awesome. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on. This was a good chat. I think this was really this had a lot of good little tidbits here, and this last little part, I think for the younger listeners will be a good one to hear.
Yes. I appreciate you guys bringing me on. To have a what you may call it, an outlet to also spread the message that hey, you should give it time with proper training and dieting and patience. You can achieve so much. That's my message. That's all I'm trying to get the younger generation, because you can't teach an old dog a new trick. So I'm just talking to the younger guys. That's pretty much what I'm doing. So that's it.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Awesome, man. If people want to reach out to you or follow you on social media, where's the best place to find you?
YouTube and Instagram at Chidozie, KINGDOZIIE. It's Chidozie everywhere.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Well, appreciate you coming on. If you guys like this podcast with the king himself, Chidozie, give him a follow there on social media, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yes. Thank you.